Hello everyone and welcome to the Captain Video Weblog. Oh shit. Ah. There you go. Whoa. I didn't see that. We are Saturday, December the 19th, 2015. It's the first day of the holidays. Woo! Big news. I might actually film a few parts of, a few, depends on how much time it takes. But yeah, I might film a few parts of Need for Speed Most Wanted this coming 2 weeks. I hope, this should be the last gaming videos on this channel, so yeah. Anyway, yesterday was, pretty complicated. I hoped I could catch the train early, let's put air quotes there, because 8 p.m. isn't really early when your train ride lasts for an hour and a half. But I wasn't able to take the bus on time, so it was 9 p.m. Hey Doggo, how you doing? Doggo. Nah, doesn't want to come. Anyway, one thing I'm really afraid of is that my bed could break while I'm sleeping, which wouldn't be the worst thing. The worst thing would be, getting in my bed and suddenly I fall like, I don't know, it might be like 4 or 5 feet. You don't think it's a lot, but just imagine the thing is that I usually go to sleep when there's already people sleeping. So if that happens, I'm probably gonna yell out of the pure surprise and fright, because still that's my bed falling. So that's a good experience, I would say. But at any rate, I think it would be long overdue, because I think it's been holding on for 2 months. Yeah. To be quite honest, there was this huge sound, and was when I came back from Andorra. So yeah, it was. On New Year's Eve, it will have been 2 months. So that's gonna be pretty awkward whenever it breaks. What would be worse? If it breaks when I'm here, if it breaks when I'm not here? When I'm here, at least I will be able to tell, well, we should have done it earlier. And if it's when I'm not here, I'll be like, well, what am I going to do now? So yeah. There's not a lot there's not a lot to talk about, really. The biggest story was yesterday in the train. I had like lots of bags, and I honestly thought I would be stuck on the platform because of my suitcase and my bags and my backpack and my computer case, and I'm like, oh fuck, I need some help. Hopefully there was someone, thankfully even, there was someone who helped me. I said thanks. Probably didn't speak French, to be honest. It was the same kind of shit when I had to alight, because the problem doesn't disappear after an hour and a half in the train, obviously. I realized that Um, One thing that my voice does when uh, I, I mean, I'm honestly not doing it on purpose. It's way deeper than what it usually is. Um, Somehow, I mean, when I speak French, you can usually tell when I'm not saying that I just woke up, but I spent the last um, probably 5 or 6 hours in my bed, laying awake, doing nothing. So yeah, you could say that it's pretty much as if I was still in the waking up phase. Um, but yeah, when I speak French, I usually have a much more pronounced accent than when it's the good thing, you know. Um, when I first envisioned the Captain's video weblog on, well, to go back to it, I envisioned to do stuff like when I was at that hotel 2 or 3 years ago. So speaking in the morning. So you would have had probably more of that voice instead of my usual voice. I don't know. Um, oh, maybe it's coming back. Nah. Uh, I really don't know what's doing it. Maybe it's because I'm lying on my I'm not lying on my back or not sitting. Uh, who knows? Um, yeah. So because I don't know if some of you watching will go back and watch the 2013 Captain's Video weblogs, but it usually was filmed around it was the wee morning hours, like 6:30, 7 a.m. And it wasn't because I hadn't slept. It was because I had my exams at 8 p.m. 8 a.m. and I was at a hotel that was at the other side, on the other end of the town, so I had to take the tramway pretty early. Couldn't afford to go to sleep at 3 a.m. for example, because I had to do those exams. Because you know it's the scholarship that's in the balance really. Uh, Even though one could argue that this year was is probably the year I skipped most classes out of sheer lack of interest. You know, because when you're in your first programmation exam and you think this I'm gonna bomb that shit. You know, it's like a Zerg rush when you first see the test, and suddenly you're like, well, I got an 18 out of 20 points, and really really removes a lot of motivation to go back to classes, to wake up on a Friday morning to go to class at 8 a.m. Last year I had sort of programmation classes. It was called database. I had to we had to learn SQL. Um, and yes, if you must ask, I every time I thought about that class, there was Man on a Mission in my head because I'm a huge weeb. And yeah, I didn't really feel like I needed to know all that because it's really theory. You don't really have to know all about how to create a database or um, what everything means when you are programming, you know, or when you're creating a database. You just need to know how to use the stuff. And as it showed, I had nearly uh, full points on the next exam. So I was like, well, I mean, I really need to go to classes? And well, yesterday's exam made me think that maybe, I mean, I'm not really sure that we really saw minimum and maximum methods. Um, Maybe we did, maybe we did not. But everything I needed to know was on my computer. I can recuperate those. I can recover these documents whenever I want. So yeah, why, why bother? There are some other classes that I mean, oh wow, I must go all the way through that part of the town just for a class where someone will talk about, yeah, you know, the environment's pretty fucked. But we and you will be working on it. Yeah, thanks. I already know that. You don't need to spend 3 hours telling me that, you know. But somehow still mandatory. So yeah. Um. Anyway, yeah. It's a stark contrast, I think, because last year, on the 19th of December, I was like, I didn't sleep at all. I worked a lot, picked up some papers, you know, the one stuff I talked about yesterday, you know, Quebec and all that stuff that didn't didn't work at the end of the day. At the end of the year, not at the end of the day, because the end of the day worked pretty damn well. I mean, cut the train fairly early, unlike yesterday. So yeah, um, today I spent most of my day in my bed, which is, yeah. So really lots of differences, I guess. I For the life of me, I wouldn't be able to remember what I did 2 years ago on the 19th of December. It was during the last week of classes, or was the first week of the holidays. You know, it's kind of weird because there's always this memory of when I was young, when I was in grade school, that somehow I always felt like I had a whole week before Christmas, between the day I was on holidays and Christmas Eve. But I'm fairly sure that at one point, I mean, I spent 4 years in grade school, from first grade. First grade was five. Yeah, 4 years from first grade to fourth grade in grade school, and at one point, there's no way around it. It must have been a point where I was on holidays just the weekend before Christmas. This year, Christmas falls on next Thursday, so I kind of understand why they put. Now that I think about it, I kind of understand why they put SmackDown on Tuesday, because just imagine Christmas Eve with SmackDown. Woo boy. I wonder what Sci-Fi has programmed for Christmas Eve, because not only will it not be on Thursday, it won't be on Sci-Fi either. It will be on USA. There's a lot of wrestling on USA this coming week. There's Raw on Monday, SmackDown on Tuesday, tribute to the troops. Everything is sponsored by Coca-Cola, which is a pretty big deal. So yeah. You gotta wonder what they put on Christmas Eve. So, especially Sci-Fi, whose specialty is sharks and big beasts. I mean, they probably changed, but Sharknado's success probably convinced them otherwise. You know? So anyway, thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Goodbye. Hey, I did it. I did it. Mom, I did it. That's great.